Skeleton Creek by Patrick Carman, Saturday, September 18th, 1:15 p.m. Okay, I'm alone in the examining room, or whatever they call it. Since I didn't want to risk anyone seeing the journal, I'm writing this in a regular notebook. I'll paste these pages and the page from the van into the journal later. This was definitely a good idea, because when I took the notebook out to write about the minivan, not exactly the most controversial of subjects, Mom kept looking in the rearview mirror. I could tell she wanted to know what I was writing. Maybe she was extra curious because she was the one who sneaked in and looked at my journal before. Maybe she was thinking she'd have to take a look at this new one soon. It's the pits not being able to trust your own parents. Finally, while I was writing about the van's suspension, she came right out and asked, "What are you writing there, Ryan?" "Just stories," I said. "Maybe I'll show them to you one day." "So you keep telling me." I pretended to joke with her. "Then you haven't read them?" I said lightly. Her tone was just as jokey. "Nope. Too busy feeding Henry and sorting mail." "So I can trust you?" Then she got all serious. "It's like faith," she said. "You just have to believe. I can't prove it to you." This was, I think, a good answer. "Do you think Dad has read my stories?" I ventured. She met my eye briefly in the rearview mirror, then looked back to the road. "If he has, he's the biggest hypocrite in 3 counties. You know how he respects privacy. Worth its weight in gold, right?" "Right." We drove a little bit more in silence. I wondered what she was thinking, because the next thing she asked was, "Have you emailed Sarah?" I lied and told her I hadn't. "Trust goes both ways, you know," she said. I told her I knew. Being friends with Sarah makes me a liar. There's no 2 ways about it. Why does everything have to be so complicated? Saturday, September 18th, 5:20 p.m. Driving home now. Mom is watching, but I'm too far back for her to be able to read anything. Everything went fine at the hospital. The doctor cut the hard cast off my leg and replaced it with one that straps on even tighter than plaster. He made me promise to keep it on unless I'm in the shower, and even there, I have to sit down on a chair. I asked the doctor if I could keep the cast, and he said I could. I'm very excited to get home and surprise Henry with it. The doctor wants me to start walking around more, which is both good and bad since I'll probably be going to the dredge tonight. Good because I'll have a little more mobility with a lighter leg brace. Bad because I'm more likely to re-injure myself if I have a reason to run away. It's been a quiet drive home, and I've been thinking about everything. So much has piled up in the past couple of days. I haven't taken the time to try and piece it all together. I'm afraid of going back, especially at night. I don't want to see old Joe Bush come out of the black pond. What if he grabs me this time? Ever since I told Sarah I'd go with her, I've been thinking that he'll get me and drag me down into the water with him. What a nightmare. I feel certain everything is connected, like Sarah said. The dredge, my dad, the crossbones, the alchemist, the ghost of old Joe Bush, even Ranger Bonner. I'm starting to work on a theory I'll tell Sarah tonight. The worst thing I have to face is that the dredge really is haunted, and that I probably have to go back there. I wonder if I'll drag my leg and old Joe Bush will think I'm making fun of him. He won't like that. Saturday, September 18th, 7:10 p.m. There are too many people around. I can't risk checking the computer. I barely made it off the porch. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm hiding in the bathroom so I can at least have time to write a few things down. I'm dying to get to my room and hear from Sarah. I can only hope my mom and dad don't go up there, check my email, and see that Sarah has sent me a video to watch. That would be a catastrophe. But they're pretty busy right now, so I think I'm okay. I hope I'm okay. Henry and Dad caught 2 monsters steelhead today and decided to have a fish feed on the front porch. I hate fish feeds. About 1 million neighbors have come over with potato salad, coleslaw, baked beans, and potato chips. I've been sitting on the gold couch for over an hour suffering question after question about my accident. Nobody wants to come right out and ask what I was doing at the dredge, but I can tell they want to know. I can tell they have theories. Nobody mentions Sarah's name. All these neighbors who have seen us grow up together. Not a single one. I know I can't stay in here forever, but it's the only place people will leave me alone. It's cooling down outside, but a fish feed is a big deal in a town as dull as Skeleton Creek. No one's likely to leave until their teeth start chattering. There's an oppressive feeling of secrecy in the air, and it's intensified by the size of the crowd. When I was 5, Dad took me fishing on the creek. He hooked a nice trout and handed me the rod. We dragged it in together, his big hand over mine on the reel. Then he took the fish off the hook and bashed its head against a rock until it was dead. I cried all the way home. I always throw all my fish back. After I catch them, I throw them back. I'd rather hold a fish underwater after I catch it and let it pump its gills in my hand until it's ready to swim off. I talk to the fish I catch. Be careful now. I'm a nice fisherman, but the next guy, I'd take you home and cook you. Tell your buddies. Makes me sad the way we kill things without any reason. Why beat the life out of a wild trout when there's perfectly good canned tuna down at the store? Henry's having a poker party tonight. He was thrilled to have my old cast at his disposal and thanked me endlessly. Cards will probably go until about midnight, which means it won't be safe for me to leave the house for a long time. I need to tell Sarah. Gladys the librarian showed up at the fish feed with a bag of carrots. She came over a half hour ago and held one out to me. Eat one of these. It'll help you see trouble coming, she said. All I could sputter out was, yes, ma'am. I got the chills when she turned to go. I was thinking in terms of the alchemist diagram of 79. The floor in 7th, 4 past the 9 on door number 2 equals library attic. Enter through the alley door marked 213. I feel like she's involved. But how? Our park ranger, Daryl Bonner, also showed up. It was strange to see him because I had to pretend I didn't know what he looked like. I actually went out of my way to ask my dad who he was. Luckily, he wasn't wearing a park ranger outfit or anything, so I didn't sound too out of it. He brought a frozen garden burger with him, and my dad dropped it on the grill like a hockey puck. The two of them talked quietly until Henry came over and gave Bonner a hard time. Those are made of dog food, Henry said. Did you know that? I hadn't heard. All three of them swigged their drinks and stared at the hockey puck on the grill. We just had our 4th player drop out. Care to play cards tonight? I'd be delighted. Bring one of those frozen frisbees. I have an idea I could use one. Being new in town, Daryl has no idea that Henry might be duct taping the frozen garden burger to his forehead before the night is over. I feel a little sorry for him. And I also feel really strange that we're under the same roof. I think I'm going to tell my mom I'm tired. Maybe she'll let me go upstairs and lie down. There's enough noise that it'll make sense for my door to be closed. I just hope they won't realize it's also locked.